We're recording. Want me to start? Okay.
Where's Bobby?
Mayor Serra is excused this evening, so Council President Polidori will be assuming the role this evening. The following is the agenda for the regular council meeting of the Borough of Pompton Lakes Mayor and Council Municipal Corporation in the County of Passaic. The meeting will begin at 7:30 p.m. on June 28, 2023 in the Municipal Building, 25 Lenox Avenue, Pompton Lakes. Consistent with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, the meeting will be open for public comments and shall be in accordance with the terms and conditions of the borough's municipal code and bylaws. Can we stand for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We ask for guidance as we make decisions that are in the best interest for the borough and all of its residents. Thank you. In conformance with the Open Public Meetings Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on a bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed to all who have requested and paid for same, and published in the Suburban Trends. Roll call. Council President Polidori. Here. Councilman Begg is excused. Councilman Cruz is excused. Councilwoman Kent. Here. Councilman Benning.
Here.
Councilman DeWine. With us this evening is our
Councilman
borough...
DeWine?
No,
I'm also
sorry.
here.
I'm sorry. I just realized. Councilman DeWine is with us. With us this evening is our borough attorney, Mark Semeraro, and our borough administrator, Paula Cazarelli. Thank you. We have no special presentations or updates today, correct? No? So I would like to make a motion to move, to open the meeting for public comment.
Motion. Second?
Would anyone from the public like to speak? Before you start, I'm going to do things a little bit different tonight. I'm going to listen to everyone's comments, and I'm going to respond at the end instead of going back and forth. Okay?
Dennis Kilmer, 158 Mountainside Drive. A few weeks ago, I saw on social media a post of a structure that was built on public property. I just want to know, is that post accurate? Is it true? And if so, what would the town be doing to rectify that?
Okay, before you sit down, I'm going to ask you structure.
It's, I saw it was a satellite view of, it looked like a garage and it was well over the property line on town property, public property, this structure.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if it was true, and if so.
I think I know what you're referring to.
Okay,
Whitney Ave?
yes.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else from the public like to make a comment?
Good evening, George Popov, 1104 Colfax Avenue. Wanted to find out what's going on with the proceedings of fixing the pipe at 1102 Colfax Avenue.
So I will answer that,
Go ahead.
Council President.
Thank you, Paula.
As a matter of fact, I left you a message today. I just wanted to let you know that last we spoke is that we really needed to do a title search.
A title search of what?
The easement to determine.
12 years? And you tell me you gotta do a title search now? Okay. I'll hear you out. My apologies.
Okay. So the first company I contacted never returned the quote that I asked for, so I got a name of another company. So we're going to keep moving forward to get that title search to identify the easement and how that was created. Because right now, all we have is tax assessment maps.
After 12 years, you have tax assessment maps, and that's all you're telling me? Are you serious? How many? I can't believe it. 12 years, and that's all you have is a tax assessment map. You have nothing else, nobody else, none of the previous administrators did anything?
Mr. Papa.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay calm, but
I
this
need
is
you to stay
ridiculous.
calm, please.
This is ridiculous. 12 years and that's all they have? With all due respect to everyone here, I can't understand that. How incompetent can they be?
So I was gonna wait until the end, but I am gonna have to ask that. Please be understanding that through the past 12 years, Paula is new to us.
I know she
So
is.
she is, and has been, at every meeting, working hard to update you on the progress that she has made.
No, I've been to every meeting. She hasn't updated me at all.
She did reach out to you today.
She may have, I haven't checked all my
She's making an
emails.
effort to stay on top of this.
Okay.
I'm sorry that it's not moving as quickly as you would like it to, but she is,
As quickly as I wanted to? 12 years, miss, come on.
during her time on working on this project, she has consistently moved forward. So this is
Move
the
forward.
second.
What is the movement? Who's working on it? What attorney is working on getting the easements resolved? Give me an attorney's name.
I can't
The
do that.
attorney will get involved after the title search is completed. Now,
What title search, sir?
she explained to you, she had to get a title search on the property in which the easement's located, so we could see from a title perspective what's recorded and what's not recorded. There's a dispute here. You know that there's a dispute, that's part.
It's been going on for years.
With all due respect, you made that point clear and no one's disagreeing with you. But I and the administrator were not there back then. She reached out to one title company, and I'm not sure if you're involved in real estate or not. Business isn't the way it used to be. Title agencies do not respond as quickly as they used to. Doing the title searches to get down to the county clerk needs an appointment because they still space people out. Government is still functioning mostly like COVID is still in place at the county level, at the state level, so there are delays. She reached
So
out.
tell me about
Well,
sir.
we have to tell you about
I
it, because you
apologize.
asked a question and you received an answer,
Right.
and I understand your frustration, but
No, you don't. You have no idea. My property's falling apart. I have severe problems with my property, and the only thing I'm hearing here is, what did you say? That title properties are slow in processing? What the hell does that mean?
I think it was relatively clear what it meant. And I don't think
Slow?
I don't think you raising your voice is gonna make it more clear.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's not. Were there any other points that
No
you wanted to
disrespect.
address without raising your voice?
I'm sorry. Don't disrespect, but I'm just at a loss. I've been here for so many years. I come here and I'm hearing the same crap. There's no other word for it.
Well, I don't know what happened with the other administrator on the issue. All I can say.
They told me the same stuff. You know, somebody's studying it, somebody's, it's under review. You know, we're planning for it, and 6 weeks ago, I heard somebody putting a plan together. 2 weeks ago, I heard that somebody's giving her some thoughts. And here I am again, 2 weeks later, and nothing, no progress.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you here, and I'm gonna thank you for coming up and addressing this again. And I do understand that you're frustrated, because I do understand that things should be concluded in much sooner time than what you've had to wait. But I am.
So what's the
going to
next
say-
step? Miss, with all due respect, what is the next step?
And I'm going.
When?
Do you have an update on, I know you reached out today. Is there an update on what the next steps are?
It's to conduct a title search.
To conduct?
That's right.
What's the target date?
I have no idea how long it takes to conduct a title search. First, I have to procure a professional to do it. The first professional. I
First you have
reached
to
out
procure, when is that gonna happen?
She just explained it to you.
So let's say.
No, sir, no, she said she
She
has to
said that she
procure.
called a title.
What date?
I mean, I'm tired of this, because honestly, she said directly to you, she reached out for a quote, which is what she's legally responsible for doing. She didn't get a call back. Until we have a title company able to do that title search, the search continues to find someone who can do the title search. Until then, there's nothing else that can be done. And she said that directly to you just a few minutes ago.
But that's what I was told
Well,
10
you're
years
just gonna
ago.
keep it doesn't matter what happened 10 years ago. It doesn't matter what happened 5 years ago. This is what she's dealing with right now. Our administrator who came on last year,
Okay.
she's moving this ball forward. It's not a smooth process where you can turn around and say, I've got 3 months, or in 2 weeks I'm gonna have someone. She can't even get a call back from a tunnel company. So what else is she gonna
So
update
when
you
will she,
on a
when will
timeline for
she,
this?
sir, with all due respect, when will she hear back from this party?
We will let
She
you know
would've-
when we do.
I mean,
We're going
she
around
would have
and around
expected to
in
get
circles
a
now.
call the same time the first day.
Mr. Popov, I'm going to ask you to sit down now, please. We will update you as soon as we hear back. And I do apologize that this is taking a long time, but until we have other information, going back and forth like this is not solving
It's
the
the
problem.
danger and the destruction of tens of thousands of dollars of my money, because this person, I don't know if they're moving or not.
No, unfair.
Don't tell me it's not. It's been this way for years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public like to speak?
Paul Mulvey, 121 Main Ave. Well, it's not exactly a town thing, but I was just wondering, I hope this isn't a scam. I got a letter in the mail from the state with regard to a registration renewal for my vehicle, that there's a grace period where you don't have to pay, but just fill out the paperwork and send it back. The governor signed some sort of a bill that waives registration fees from like March to October. Anybody ever hear anything about that?
I have no idea.
Never.
It looks legit. It comes in the Department of the Transportation or whatever it is. I don't know whether to send it back or not.
Maybe they work with the car warranty people because they can find
No,
out everywhere.
no, please, those people.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just hoping somebody had seen it besides me.
Anybody else from the public like to speak?
Randy Hinton, 443 Montclair Avenue. I just had a question on Resolution 23-147. It says an attic curb ramp reconstruction, but then I think I just figured it out. That should be all capitals. Isn't that the American Disabilities Act, where it says attic curb reconstruction?
And ADA, yes, it's ADA.
ADA?
Right.
Okay. I just thought it was like add a boy or add a girl or something like that, you
We're
know.
gonna start naming our.
But then I just thought about
It's an
that.
acronym, yes.
Well, we do have an attic curve.
All right. Thank you very much.
Do you want to mention?
Mike Simone, 25 West Lenox Avenue. I just want to compliment the staff for doing a great job on the calendar again. We got the calendar in the mail. Liz and her people have done it consistently a good job. I'd like to just thank her again for getting all the information out there. Very helpful.
Thank you. Would anyone else from the public like to speak? So I'll add a few comments to that before we close the public session. Mr. Popov left, but I do apologize for his frustration. We are working on it. It is unfair to continue blaming an individual that works for the borough that was not here at the inception of this problem. So I do, Paula, I apologize for that. I know that you have consistently worked hard on this. So if anything we can do to expedite this, or at least perhaps it may make things a little easier if we just send more frequent touch points just to let him know. Reached out, did this, did that, maybe that'll help. Remind him that you are in fact staying engaged. I can send those emails for you if you would like, but this, obviously we don't want this to happen every council meeting, so.
No, I tried to alert him, and I figured it'd be better to call. I'm not too sure how he is with his email, so I left a message for him today, which he will get when he goes home. However, I will follow up with email. It just happens to be that I asked a colleague for a recommendation of a title search company, and it came back today. So that was when I called Mr. Popov, but he said,
Okay, thank you. And I agree, the calendars are once again beautiful, and I was familiar with what you were speaking about. I did also see the structure, and it was looked into, was brought to the attention of the building inspector. There was a notice of violation issued. I'm not sure what remedy has been put in place yet, but you are correct in what you saw. We did verify that that was accurate information. there was a structure built partially on residential property and town property, which needs to be rectified now. So, thank you. Seeing nothing else, motion to close the meeting for public session.
So moved.
Second? Second. Would anyone like any of the, oh, I'm sorry. Approval of minutes. Motion to approve the following minutes. Regular meeting minutes, June 14th, 2023. Closed session meeting minutes, June 14th, 2023.
So moved.
Second. Authorized bills and claims, Resolution 23-145, resolution.
We need to have a vote on that. Affirmation.
Just do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
first and second, yeah.
Hold on a second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now authorized bills and claims?
Perfect. Yeah.
Authorized bills and claims, Resolution 23-145, resolution authorizing payment of bills in the amount of $3,546,166.59. Motion to approve the following bill list.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are no presentation of petitions. Consent agenda. Would anyone like anything removed from the consent agenda to be addressed for separate action?
Okay, whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Pompton Lakes have reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Pompton Lakes does not desire to remove resolutions for individual action from that agenda. Now therefore be it resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. Resolution 23-143 through 23-149.
Motion to approve the resolutions.
Motion?
Second.
It was Councilwoman Karen, Councilman Bennett. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Introduction of ordinances for first reading and introduction. Ordinance 23-27.
Okay, this ordinance will be read for second reading and final adoption July 19. An ordinance approving and adopting the senior housing redevelopment plan.
Motion to approve ordinance 23-27 for introduction.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Deline, Councilman Bennett, roll call please.
Councilman Deline.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ken.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 23-28, an ordinance appropriating $2,362,894 and authorizing the issuance of $1,611,615 bonds or notes of the borough for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Borough of Pompton Lakes in the County of Passaic, New Jersey.
Motion to approve ordinance 23-28 for introduction.
Motion.
Second?
Councilman Bennett and Councilwoman Ken, roll call please.
Councilman Deline.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ken.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Ordinances for second reading. These ordinances have been advertised and posted on the municipal bulletin board. Ordinance 23-25, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 18, Fire Prevention of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Pompton Lakes.
Motion to open the meeting for public comment on ordinance 23-25.
So moved.
Councilman Deline,
Second?
Councilwoman Ken, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Would anyone from the public like to address ordinance 23-25? Seeing no one, motion to close the meeting for, public comments on ordinance 23-25.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Deline, Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve ordinance 23-25 for final adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Deline, Councilman Bennett, roll call.
Councilman Deline.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ken.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Ordinance 23-26, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 10, Animal Control of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Pompton Lakes.
Motion to open the meeting for public comment on ordinance 23-26.
So moved.
Councilman Devine,
Second.
Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Would anyone from the public like to address ordinance 23-26?
Randy Hinton, 443 Montclair Avenue. Under A, it says prohibition of sale of dogs or cats by retail pet stores. Now, I'm adamantly opposed to this. You shouldn't be trying to close a business or not allow a business to open up in the town of Pompton Lakes if they want to sell pet store selling dogs and cats. I mean, as a council and as a town, you can regulate it, make sure it's done humanely. But the solid Republicans want to bring businesses to town. Why would you want to stop a pet store from selling dogs or cats? I mean, that's the bulk of the pet store. And I just don't think that it really should be made illegal in the town of Pompton Lakes.
Okay, so I will tell you, I have given considerable thought to this, and I kind of, spent some time looking at it from both sides of the coin. Obviously, I have a dog and I love my dog, and I love that dogs are treated well. But I think the movement, which, is stemming from certain activist groups that are against, and rightfully so, the mistreatment of animals that are coming from puppy mills, is what is driving behind this. But I agree with you, right? As local government, I don't believe that we should have the authority to dictate what people can or cannot sell as long as the product is legally obtained and legally sold inside of the borough. Brick and mortar's been on a decline for years. We're trying to revitalize the downtown. I would hate to see that we would stop a business from coming in because of an ordinance that took place in this town that did not exist in a town next door. I think if we were to look at this, my issue is the lack of connectivity across boroughs and the lack of, I'm not a lawyer, but it's my understanding that the state level law is not as restrictive as this one. So I would not be inclined to want to move forward with something that is more restrictive than what is happening at the state. I believe that at the state level, retail pet stores can sell dogs and cats as long as they are legally purchased through approved breeders or resale. And I do know that there are pet stores, higher end pet stores that do operate and exist by abiding those rules. I don't think, especially because of the lack of connectivity across towns, that this is going to stop puppy mills. There are other avenues that these animals can be sold. They can be sold online, and then they end up in kennels where they are rehomed in the same manner, but just for less money. So, I agree with you, so thank you.
Yeah, I just totally disagree. You shouldn't be banning a business. And if you say that there's a movement, as elected officials, you shouldn't be really following movements. You should be making concrete decisions on businesses to come to town, make sure that they're regulated, make sure that the health inspector inspects things, make sure the dogs and cats are humanely treated, but to ban the business totally, I just think is overreaching out of line.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address just this ordinance?
It should be tabled at least.
Jeff Kynan, Ringwood Ave, Pompton Lakes. Under noise nuisances, I may be mistaken, but I thought that there was something in, maybe it was another,
What section are you looking for, if you don't mind me asking?
no person shall keep, harbor, or maintain a dog which habitually barks or cries between the hours of 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. I thought that there was an ordinance that, was against the dog barking all day.
There's no change to that ordinance.
No, that wasn't part of the amendment that we're addressing.
I think he's referencing
He's referencing the
was
entire
already
ordinance.
existing.
Yeah, so there was only certain, that's the whole section. We only amended the resale part. That is already in existence.
So that I'm not mistaken, there is an ordinance that prevents or not prevents dogs, but there is an ordinance against the dog barking all day.
That is the ordinance. There's no other ordinance in the ordinances that would contradict that ordinance that you're reading right there. There's no change to that ordinance.
The only sections to this ordinance that are proposed to be changed, that are being voted on today, is that language that's bold and underlined, or that language that's stricken.
So,
Pertaining
okay.
only to the resale of dogs and cats. Everything else in that is already existing and not being amended.
So even though it's not listed here, there is a part of this ordinance that deals with dogs barking all day, from 8 AM to 9 PM. I was under the impression that there was, I may be mistaken.
I don't know. I mean, I read through the whole ordinance. I don't remember seeing that
Maybe it's
language.
under a
but I-
different ordinance then.
No, it would be in that one. I mean, we can look through it again. But that's not part of what we're discussing tonight, though.
Well, the noises, I thought.
So
the section.
the whole ordinance was printed, but only the highlighted and bolded part is what's being changed,
Right.
pertaining specifically to,
I understand that, but I thought there was part of this ordinance or another ordinance. I thought, maybe I'm mistaken, but if a dog is outside barking all day, I was under the impression that you could get that to stop, get a fine, get a ticket,
Council President, if I may.
but it's not part of this, so it is an ordinance, all right.
It might be. I don't mean to cut you off, but the dialogue at this point in time is only for what's being voted on, as a matter of procedure. You're certainly free to ask your questions, and if we're able to answer, we'd be more than happy, but that has to be in the public comment section, not the public comment for an ordinance.
All right, I thought, since it says noise, I thought.
And if we had an answer off the fingertips, I'm sure we would have answered you, but I don't, off the top of our head, I don't think any of us have the citation in mind.
thank you. Anyone else pertaining to just 23-26? Were you raising your hand? No? Okay. Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the meeting for public comment on ordinance 23-26?
So moved.
Councilman Deline?
Second.
Councilman Bennett? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve ordinance 23-26 for final adoption.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we table this ordinance. I think this is a very important ordinance. I'm absolutely against any kind of puppy mill, 100%. I'm an SPCA person. I don't like anybody abusing dogs, cats, animals, children, whatever. But I do think that we don't have enough people here tonight to actually make a vote on an important ordinance like that. So I'm asking that we table this to our July meeting. And then we'll have Mayor Mike back, and hopefully Councilman Cruz will be here, and possibly Councilman Begg.
Do you want to have any additional discussion? Is there anything else you wanted to add? I mean, you were...
No, I mean, it's, reflected of what we provided. It was given to the entire council. Up until now, I wasn't aware of any issues related to the ordinance. If we need more time to reflect and consider the ordinance, certainly we've got no hurry to do so. I'd rather get it right than have to keep going back and forth. So I'll second the motion to table it.
Thank you.
And we can go into further discussion on whether this is the right ordinance at the right time, if it needs to be amended further, or just dropped altogether.
Okay, so now at this time, if you have notes from previous discussions you've had in other towns, can we look into this?
Sure. And I actually think, based upon the research that you did, I think the statute is a little bit different today than it was back when I dealt with the issue last. So the legislature, yeah, because if they're restricting to licensed or approved breeders, something to that effect, it may have actually been adequately addressed if the only concern
At the
is
state
puppy
level.
mills at the state level. But I'll pull that and I'll look at it, and I will definitely pull my other file.
I will definitely check my research. I'm not,
Okay.
I'm also not looking for a job, so.
Thank you.
Okay, so so the motion was made to table it and seconded?
Yeah, I
Do we
think
have
that.
to do a roll call on that? or-
I think that we need to specify what the carry date will be for the motion.
Oh, Our next meeting is
July 16th, July 19th.
19th.
Okay, Maria, your motion was intended to carry it to that date,
Yes,
and the second was also intended to?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so,
We need to have a vote on that.
roll call?
You want me to do a roll call?
Yeah, we'll do a
Okay.
roll call on it.
Councilman Delogne,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent,
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, good. My report. First, I want to start out by congratulating the graduates of our elementary schools that are moving on to middle school, the graduates of our middle school that are moving on to high school, and the graduates of our high school that are moving on to the next steps of their chosen paths in life. I know that Pompton Lakes has prepared them to conquer anything it is that this world puts in their place. We have a tremendously good school system, which has been led by some pretty amazing people, one of which has announced that after 18 years of serving our community and being there for many years for all of our children, Dr. Przbalinski will be retiring. So we thank him and we wish him the best. My daughter went through high school with Dr. P, and my son was fortunate enough to have him for his first year of high school, and I can tell you that he was a tremendous influence in the school system. So he will be missed, and I wish him well on the next steps of his journey. I also participated in a very successful fundraising event for Rotary, in which part of the proceeds were shared with the VFW. It makes me happy when we have community organizations that work together to raise funds to support each other, especially our VFW. And I was honored to be a part of that event, as well as I am looking forward to coming in next month as the incoming vice president for our Rotary chapter. So I'm looking forward to working with incoming President Sue Barone on continuing many fundraising events for all of our charitable organizations across the community. I want to wish the Historic Commission a happy birthday. I saw some photos online of what looked like a very nice meeting with a beautiful cake. Was that from the ice cream station?
It was, yes.
Another amazing job by the ice cream station. So thank you to the Historic Commission for all that you do. Happy birthday. We had a group of residents that put together, through their own hard work and effort, an event that took place at the library this past Saturday celebrating Pride. It was very well done. Whether you do or do not celebrate Pride, I think the residents that took their time and initiative to put together an event to support something that they're passionate about and share that with the community in such a beautiful setting should be commended. The weather held out. They had games, entertainers, snacks. It was really, really nicely done, a very, very well put together, all by the hands of volunteers. So anytime volunteers come together to bring something to fruition that they're passionate about and share with the community, it makes me happy. I wanted to address the pet store ordinance, which we talked about, and I want to remind everyone that for July and August, we only meet once. So for July, we'll be meeting on the 19th, on August the 16th. Have a happy and safe 4th of July. And that is my report. Councilwoman Kent.
Yeah. Thank you, Councilwoman Polidori. Our DPW crew, Superintendent Dan O'Rourke, are very busy. They're finishing up all of the mulching in the parks. All the playgrounds are getting all fresh mulch to make sure that the playgrounds are safe. They have to put at least a foot, I believe it's a foot of mulch in to make sure they have enough cushion so the kids don't get hurt if they fall off the swings or whatever. And that's a big, big job for them. So I want to thank them very much for all their diligence in doing that. They also are doing a lot of repairs at Lakeside Park with the sprinkler system. They're going to be working on the gazebo. And they are also helping out with our recreation summer camp. They're putting up fences and they're helping out at the field house down at Hirschfield Park. Of course, they're doing the routine garbage and recycling pickup, and it's been raining. They haven't been able to mow too much, so just give them a little time. If they can't mow lawns when the grass is wet, they'll destroy the lawn, destroy their equipment. So you have to just hang in a little bit. If the grass is a little long, that's okay. It'll get cut. I did attend the first Pride Festival at the Pompton Lake Library, and it was very well done. And it was a very nice crowd there, and they did a really good job. The Pompton Lakes Environmental Protection Committee is very concerned with the litter throughout the borough, especially in the open space parks area and absolutely downtown. There is a huge problem with cigarette butts. There's no receptacles that are allowed evidently to be put downtown because we have a no smoking ordinance for downtown. So if you have a no smoking ordinance, evidently you can't put out cigarette receptacles to douse your cigarettes. So what's happening is the butts are going into the grates, they're staying on the sidewalks, they're in the streets, and it's becoming a problem. I personally removed about, I don't know, hundreds of cigarette butts from the grates when we did we called it the downtown uptown cleanup this past November, and you know what, you break your back trying to get those little cigarette butts out of those grates that are around the trees. So one of the resolutions that the EPC is asking the council to do is to come up with a no smoking resolution to have for open spaces and as well as in parks and in open parks downtown and open space. And they realize, and there's no signage. One of the problems they realize that there's no signage to say no smoking. So as the committee, they are requesting a resolution to adopt signage to our town's ordinance regarding smoking in public parks and open spaces. We are requesting that these signs be posted at ingress and egress areas of the parks and open spaces so that the citizens are aware that smoking is prohibited in these towns' area. And they recommend that the ordinance say something to the effect that smoking is prohibited on all borough property, open spaces, parks, recreation areas, playgrounds, ball fields, tennis courts, or any other recreation areas owned or operated by the borough, including parking facilities such as properties, and in compliance with all other federal and state statutes and regulations. Smoking shall include the use of the burning of the inhaling from or of smoke, or the possession of lighted cigars, cigarettes, pipe, or any other matter or instrument which contains a tobacco product or any other matter, substance that can be smoked, inhaled, exhaled, or burned, including the vapor from electronic smoke devices. And they thank the mayor and council, and they thank me for just taking the time to go over this. So that was their
We
recommendation.
already prohibit smoking on all borough property.
Right, but there's no signage.
So what your ask is that we have signs posted.
Yeah, to support the no smoking.
Can we have signs that say no smoking put at the park?
I think we have some in the safe from when we adopted that.
Okay.
I'll look.
Are they out?
I know for a fact we do have some signs, at least in some of the parks. Maybe not all of them, but certainly some.
Yeah, they evidently,
I think we should be smoking in the parks anyway.
you should, yeah. But evidently, when they did their tour, they looked at litter, they looked at cans, you know, how many cans are out, and they also looked for, you know, cigarette receptacles, and there aren't any. I was told by another group that the cigarette receptacles catch fire, and that's why they don't like to use.
I don't think we want cigarette receptacles in places we
don't,
ban
yeah. Well,
cigarettes from.
but if people smoke and they try to douse their cigarette, they're putting it on the ground. So it's kind of it's a, you know.
Yeah, you're encouraging smoking.
Yeah, you are, but if they do
I do have one
it.
suggestion, if I may.
Sure.
If we have an ordinance, I didn't see it, and I don't question it, but it may have been passed at a point in time where people weren't smoking marijuana, vaping devices may not have been in place, and I think you want to probably take a look at it and make sure that it is comprehensive to cover all those issues.
Yeah.
So, does the ordinance committee want to do that? Do they want me to do it? However, but I think that that's worth a look.
I'll talk to Paul and get back to you.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you, that's a good point. I don't think, if we do have one, they will not include the electronic.
Yeah, it's probably 20 years old. Or...
Yeah, it's much older than that. I do want to thank Chris Sudoff. He's a recent graduate of law school, and he did write that, so I thought he did a very good job for his first unpaid job. So kudos to Chris. Okay, then you'll let me know. I also attended the Pompton Lakes Recreation Commission meeting last night. And our commissioners and Director Murphy, I mean, she's got the entire summer scheduled with a million different outdoor activities. And I have the flyers, I usually read them. But we have Dine to Donate, that's supposed to help, okay, so that's at Monica's. And what they're doing is if you eat at the restaurant on that particular day, 10% of your purchase will help offset Pompton Day. And that's August 22nd and 23rd. We also have Dine to Donate at the Smoke Shack, same thing, on August 10th. Dine to Donate at Max, 10% off, July 18th. And these are all online. And Dine to Donate, 20%, Thatcher McGee's, July 10th and July 13th. So if you can anyway participate in that, that would be great, and that 10% will go to offset Pompton Day expenses. We also, on our summer school, we have 170 campers, and they did a great job the first day. The first day they had to go to Lenox School because of the rain, and we want to thank the Pompton Lakes Board of Ed for allowing them to use that school. And Director Allison Daly and the Assistant Director Crystal Tazula, they're doing a fabulous job with the campers and the camp counselors. The way that they, just so you know how much, 170 kids is a lot of kids to look after, and their ages from, I think, 4 to 12. And what they did is they put different color tablecloths on different tables. So if you were a certain age group, you go to the red table, or whether you'd go to the yellow table if you're from 7 to 9, or whatever it was. And that's how they first got the kids involved. And it was very smart, and the kids knew the next day just where to go, just from the color of the tablecloths. I thought it was a brilliant decision on how to handle these children in a very small area, and it worked very well. So we're very happy to have that program be as successful as it is. That'll go to the end of July. Okay. I also wanted to congratulate Ms. Bransmith, Kathy Trost, she's our deputy clerk, and Barbara Shashan for the calendar. It's beautiful. We all got a copy, and if you don't get a copy in the mail by July 9th, then call the town and see if you can get one. But they were all mailed out yesterday, and day before, and you should have gotten them yesterday. So everyone should have gotten them yesterday. Okay. As far as let me just mention we had a little incident on the lake, so just let everybody know. There was a paddle boat, a nice family, father, mother, and a little boy, evidently took a paddle boat out, and instead of having the father and the mother do the paddling and putting the little boy in the back, he wanted to paddle. Evidently, when you get out to the middle of the lake, the little boy's legs kind of died down. Now you're in the middle of a lake, and you're tired, you can't paddle. Now, how do you get a father to the front of a paddle boat and a boy in the back of the paddle boat? Well, it started to take water. So they called they called the police, and the police used the brand new rescue boat, first rescue they had to make. It took about 20 minutes to figure out where the keys were and all that, so it was a little bit of a, learning curve. Okay. But they got there, they rescued them, they brought them in, and so now I think with the police, I think they're gonna keep, Ryan, maybe but I think they're gonna keep the boat at the dock on a Saturday and Sunday. It was not there. It's usually kept in the garage, and that's not going to happen anymore. Correct? Okay. Yeah. So I know Ryan helps out with the rec commission. So just so you know, the $65,000 rescue boat came into play. It saved a little family, and the police were all trained. Every one of them were trained on it, and it worked.
It certainly only takes one rescue to justify
yes,
the vote.
And that's pretty much what happened. I'm going to suggest that, smaller children do not do the paddle boats, if they can't reach, or if you think they're going to get tired, just warn the parents, don't go all the way out in the middle of the lake, because you got to get back. So lessons learned, no injuries, thank God.
We require that they wear life vests, correct?
Oh, they were all wearing life vests, yes, that was my first question. But, you know, even then, the last thing you want to do is being in a sinking boat. I mean, it's just a scary thought. So, it worked. So, lesson to be learned. Just thought I'd bring that up. Again, and I say this every meeting, but we have pickleball for everyone, and it's free for the adults through June 7th through July 26th, and on Saturdays, June 3rd through July 29th, and the kids also, well, we have all posters for these that are all online. We have volleyball for the adults, it looks free too. And we need sponsors for Pompton Day. Middle school camp, July 10th, which is with Mrs. Eileen Allen, and their signups are still available. Get Fit used to be was at 7 o'clock at Lincoln School. That's no longer for the summer. That'll start in September again. Just so you know, and I'll bring the council up to date, they are talking to St. Mary's to use the facilities there for the recreation group. The price tag is a little bit too high, so they're trying to get that price down a little bit per hour. But they are talking to the Archdiocese on using that. So we'll see what happens with that. Our senior picnic for our seniors, and that's a senior in anyone over 63, I think. 63? 65?
I don't know what they consider.
Whatever, we don't check your license, but, you know. It's on July 22nd, 2023 at 12 o'clock at the Elks. We can take up to 120 people. Most times, it's the different groups, you know, the St. Mary's seniors and the Golden Agers, the senior center, but it's anybody. Anybody is welcome. Anybody whose dad or mother wants to come on out. And we have ShopRite cake. We have cakes. Ice cream station provides ice cream. We have a DJ, and Al Greco handles the sandwiches, and it's really a fun event, and a lot of people help serve. And hopefully we'll see our seniors there. As far as Pompton Day is concerned, there's 59 vendors. They're set, and we still have a few places to put a couple extra vendors. So let us know. I think Mike Shakatana is taking all the applications. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bennett?
I have no report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Devon?
Thank you. Real quick, I did not attend the MUA meeting, but in the month of May, there were 66 sanitary sewer main and sewer lateral markouts, so it's a very busy month for them. They did do an emergency markout for 415 Hamburg Turnpike, which required the replacement of a telephone pole, and that's pretty much the gist of the MUA meeting. Attended the zoning board meeting last night. There was an application to the zoning board for a garage at a property on Willow Avenue. Willow Avenue, at least towards the end of Riverdale Boulevard, is a unique situation because the properties are basically on the front Willow Avenue, but their backyard is on Dawes Highway. And the way that zoning reads is that if your side of your property fronts a street, it's also considered a front yard. So those property owners technically have two front yards. They don't actually have a rear yard. So they had to go in front of the zoning board because they want to establish a garage onto Dawes Highway, which an accessory structure you can put in your backyard, but you can't do in your front yard, which is basically, he has no backyard. In any case, the board did have a number of questions and need for clarification on some items, so it was carried until the July meeting. So it's an ongoing application for that. This past weekend, I attended the first Pride Day. My daughter actually performed Crazy Little Thing Called Love with Stageworks. It was a very cool day. It was very cool to see everyone participating, and congratulate the people that put it together, and look forward to future events at the library. That day, the Summer Trails maintenance was canceled due to weather. The next one is going to be Sunday, July 9th at 9 a.m. because it is getting warmer. We tend to meet a little bit earlier. And we've also moved the meeting location from Willow Field to the end of Lincoln Avenue down by the MUA. So if you want to participate, typically this time of year, we need a lot of weed whackers because of the rain, and then the grass starts growing along the trails and everything. So every little bit helps. And then finally, I just want to wish Councilman Begg a happy birthday. His birthday was Monday. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Your daughter is adorable. Thank you. Professional reports?
No report.
Paula?
Thank you, Council President. I would just like to let everyone know that, I don't know when it happened, but Verizon had a conduit put in under Montague Ave, so now it needs to be repaired by the contractor. So that to Colfax will be closed on July 6th. There'll be signs out, and I have asked Verizon, who is contracting Kramer to do the work, to notify our businesses so they know to inform their customers that Montague Ave will be closed. It'll be a quick mill and pave. It will be a half a day, but even still, it'll be an inconvenience to those that are visiting our business district. So that's July 6th, Babcock to Colfax. I also just want to let you know that, thank you, Councilman DeLine, you beat our grant writer in notifying us of the availability of the Spotted Lantern Fly program. The borough has been awarded a $15,000 grant. These monies are coming from federal funds. So the NJDA, EDA are the ones that are the conduit for the federal money. So we work through the EDA in order to do our reimbursement. So it will require the borough to procure the services of a pesticide licensed individual to apply to the red lantern flies. And I believe, Randy, you have been consulted as to where these locations are to be identified.
Not as of yet.
All right, consider this an official consult request.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So anyway, with the DPW, there are locations that require, and right now, our DPW superintendent was informed they're very, very small, and in a month, they're gonna wreak havoc on our town. So we want to move fast and procure the services of state contracted pesticides. So I can just authorize that because I'm your QPA. The other thing is that I attended the Historic Commission meeting. I just would like to give a little shout out to those folks that there. Paul was there, Laura Jennings, Councilman Bennon. We discussed with the DEP, again, the DEP is the conduit for federal funding. Come October, the grant cycle will open up for us to get grant funding to apply for, so that the borough can do a survey of its existing historic properties and others. And the purpose of surveying existing properties determined to ensure that they still meet the criteria in our code, and then possibly look at other properties that should be included in our code for local historic designation and protection. And that's what I have. We've got a lot of, as you can see, that bond ordinance, we have a lot of work. We're gonna get working. We got those contracts going tomorrow. So we're gonna get moving on those capital projects. So you're gonna see a lot of activity, most likely September, October, in September and October, hopefully the end of August too. So. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to open the meeting for public comments.
So moved.
Councilman
Second.
Ryan, Councilman Bennon. Anyone from the public like to address anything?
Mike Sloan, 25 West Links. I wanted to ask if anything was done with the Dawes Avenue Bridge, the Dawes Highway Bridge, because there was a problem with Wayne not being consulted yet and some discrepancies between the state and federal government. So I'm just wondering if the borough was going to pursue getting Wayne to sign on to it. Second thing is, Maria, you brought up about the no smoking. I don't think a lot of people know about that, but why can't you use, we have sign by the library and we have the police mobile sign. You could probably set up on each end saying, by the way, until you get your regular signs up, you could say that there's, an ordinance that says no smoking, no butts, keep it clean type of thing.
It's a good idea.
Might be helpful.
Thank you.
That's it, thanks.
Thank you.
I would just like to say, to Mike's comment, the next day, Liz did send out our resolution requesting support from the Township of Wayne and the county. And Liz, where else did you send?
I think those two agencies is
So
where
they
they
were
sent it.
immediately
To the county,
notified?
the administrator's office, and to Wayne.
Okay, maybe one of the meetings, and when you hear something, you can make a report on it. I'm just anxious not to let things slide by.
I do
Thanks
think
for
it
doing that.
probably provides a little bit more of a personal touch than just sending the resolution to the respective municipalities. If we're going to ask Wayne to assist and support us, I think a phone call or an email is probably more warranted than just the resolution.
Anyone else from the public?
Dennis Kilburn, 158 Mountainside Drive. One of my neighbors, he's a retired fireman. He asked me, I guess he didn't want to come to the meeting, if there are any fireboxes in town that are still operating, like public fireboxes.
You mean those red things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he was wondering, is there they work? There's a Verizon line to them? Is there a copper line?
I pass
to
one
them?
every day. I dare not touch it. I don't know. It's right there.
Typically, they are connected.
Yeah,
with
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire alarms usually are. They're not, I don't know, I have to look into that, but
Yeah, because if
I can
someone
reach out to
does
someone
pull
and
it and
find
it
out.
doesn't work, we're talking about smoking and everything, and things could possibly catch on fire, if someone pulls that, it doesn't work, then the town is probably, that's a huge liability.
I'll
And
find
if
out for
they
you.
don't work, if they don't, they'll get 911. But if they, that's another thing. A lot of people have cell phones, 911. If they don't work, or if they are working and nobody's used them since the age of cell phones, why don't we consider on removing them and save the town? I don't know how much money goes for the copper lines running to them. Probably, I don't know, $100,000 a year, $200,000, no?
it's just the cost of a regular,
That's all it is?
phone connection. Yeah.
He was
You're
telling
not
me,
talking-
it was like $100,000 a year, he was telling me. I don't know how
I was
much.
thinking it was long gone by then.
I don't know, like for Verizon, who knows, they like to upcharge. But if they're not in use, then you might as well get rid of them, no?
That helps me, no.
They look nice? All right, that's all I got.
We'll look into it, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else from the public?
Jay, did you want me to address that at all, fire in or not?
Not right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ryan Gosker, 5 Car Street, just on the signs. If they do become comprehensive and include tobacco and other vape products, the coalition would be, we have a grant from the federal government that we could possibly work on getting new signs with that grant money. So that is an avenue we can explore. So if it becomes comprehensive, we can't just be smoking, but if it becomes tobacco and weed, vapes and everything else, then we could definitely help out with that. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
yep, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Randy Hitton, 443 Montclair Avenue. I want to thank Councilman Devine on that grant for the spotted lanternfly.
I just passed it along, Paula did all the work,
No, I didn't actually, our DPW superintendent did,
then Dan did all the work.
that's right.
Wow, a lot
Sure
of
did.
thanks to go to everybody. That's great though, because we probably gonna need it. So, right now, like you say, they're very small, but, give it another month and a half, they'll be jumping all over the place. Any update on Clary Hugh Lane? That's a direct answer. No. Okay.
There is not.
Thank you very much. Just want to say that all the storms we just had come through, the windstorms, the rain, we've all seen it, we've all been living through it. We've had no trees come down. So-
One did.
One.
One?
I'm looking into it, yeah.
Oh, was it a town tree?
Yeah,
Over by Wanacue Avenue.
Can
Yeah,
identify.
yeah, by the solar, the company solar,
Well,
down
for all those storms, just
Not
one
bad,
tree
not bad.
is pretty good.
It's very
I'd like
good.
to compliment the Shade Tree Commission
Yes.
and the DPW for the work that they do.
You get all the credit, Randy.
And then I would also like to say, we just completed our removal list for Shade Tree. And one of the office girls, Tricia, in your office,
Yes.
spotted some mistakes on the bill from Downs.
Yes, she
And I just want to congratulate her and thank her for picking that up.
Yeah, Trish does a great job. She works diligently, hard, is always here after hours, on the, anytime. What a great addition she is to us.
Well, I
Yeah,
just-
I mean, we have good staff. You know, we have a new tax clerk, Megan, so everybody is pitching in, but Trish is very diligent. No one's getting by without her looking at every single bill and every single charge.
Well, I just want to give her a compliment and say
Thank you. I'll let her know.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing no one, motion to close the meeting for public comment.
So moved.
Second?
Councilman Devine, Councilwoman Kent. Privilege of the floor.
I'll take privilege of the floor for 1 minute. So in 2020, New Jersey has a thing called Sustainable Jersey, and we applied for this project, so it's 3 years old. And part of these actions were actually smoke-free public places. So we actually, the borough actually passed an ordinance back in 2014, and this is what Chapter 13622 says, and maybe Mark can weigh in on whether this is sufficient in terms of an ordinance. Smoking is prohibited on all borough open space properties, parks, recreation areas, playgrounds, ball fields, tennis courts, or any other recreation area owned or operated by the borough, including parking facilities for such properties and in compliance with all other federal and state statutes, rules, and regulations. Smoking shall include the use of, the burning of, the inhaling from, the exhaling of smoke, or possession of a lighted cigar, cigarette, pipe, or any other matter or instrument which contains a tobacco product or any other matter, substance, or product that can be smoked, inhaled, exhaled, or burned, including the vapor from electronic smoking devices. That seems pretty comprehensive to me.
Yeah.
Part of this report also identified the locations of these smoke-free signs, which are Hirschfield Park, both at the main entrance in John Murren Park, Lakeside Boathouse, Stiles Park, Gallo Park, Joe Grill entrance, Willow Field, Carlo Field, and the tennis courts. This report was 3 years ago. It probably could use new signs in more visible locations, but I don't think we necessarily need an ordinance change to address it. Probably just need new signs in better spots.
Were you reading from the report or the ordinance?
That was directly from the ordinance.
Yeah, it's a very comprehensive ordinance.
Okay.
And we have signs in storage still?
This is, I don't know what we have in storage, but these are locations that were annotated as part of this report completion,
Did
so.
you say there were signs?
I believe I have some signs in the safe.
Oh,
No.
They might
There
not
were
be,
some,
they
I'll
might
check.
not be enough for, again, it's right
In the
that
safe.
obviously
In my
marijuana,
office.
it's obviously right
That's what it's
that
called.
there has been
Whatever.
an increase in electronic smoke devices or vapor devices, and then obviously the legalization of marijuana. So whatever the signs read now, we probably could update, and it sounds like we've got a great avenue to fund them, so thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would just like to say that, as far as the lantern fly, the treatment, our Shade Tree Commission, Mr. Hinton, has been on top of this from day one. He's come to many meetings, and he's asked for the borough to get involved with this, At the time, they didn't have a treatment, they didn't have proper pesticides, there was nothing that we could do, individually. The minute that this whole thing came out, I'm thrilled that we got some information on that, because if we don't do it all together, it makes, it's never gonna work. So, I'm glad, but I wanted to just make sure that everybody understood the Shade Tree Commission has been on top of this infestation from day one. And I want to thank you, Randy, for all your hard work. We had we even had, one of our, partnerships, we went out to the Lakeside School, the Environmental Protection Commission, we had the big sign with the big bug, it was all in, it's red and it's all different colors. It's actually a beautiful bug, but it's very destructive. So, he gave that to us way back in the day, like maybe 2 years ago now. So you've been on top of this 100%, and we really got to get our act together and get that treatment done. So that's very important to the town and to keep our shade trees in good shape. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Anything else? Okay, we have no executive session tonight. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Devine, Councilman Bennett, everyone, don't forget, one meeting next month. We'll see you on July 19th. Thank you.
Thank you.